Hello Capricorn, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a timeless reading. This energy was activated as soon as you clicked on this video. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Two of Swords, choice, right? I think you're somebody that, you're a very rational person, right? I think that you're logical, you're smart, you got a good head on your shoulders. You try to look at things from a lot of different points of view and make a good decision. I think you're also very much aware of how thinking doesn't always help, you know? The Two of Swords is a card that kind of says, like, thoughts just tend to amplify whatever we're already feeling or believing, right? Thoughts beget thoughts. Thoughts are good at, or the mind, the intellect, right, is good at naming things, is good at categorizing things, is good at splitting things apart in order to look at them better, right? And thoughts tend to multiply. 2 becomes 4, becomes 16, 32, and 64, and 128, and all that stuff. And so this card really is sort of, is the way that our mind is going to amplify and reinforce things that we're already believing, things that we're already feeling, okay? The mind, the intellect doesn't usually lead to new discoveries or new realizations or new beliefs. That has to come from what I like to say is that little crescent moon, that intuition right in between the two swords. So we need to use the mind, but we have to realize that it is the spiritual force. It is that third factor. It is that intuition that leads us to new breakthroughs. But let's see what the mind is doing. Let's see what it is reinforcing or what it's amplifying for you, or what the choice is for you. Here's the Hanged Man. There's the Lovers. Two of Cups. Oh, okay. All right. I see. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I see. This is really, you're stepping into something that is really not very familiar to you. We've got the Chariot card, Cancer energy, right? Cancer sign. Cancer is your opposite sign, okay? If you look at the wheel of the zodiac, Cancer's on one side, Capricorn's on the other side. It's actually top and bottom, or, you know. So the Cancer energy represents something that's rather foreign to you. It's kind of an unconscious, like an alter ego kind of thing, okay? But to me, it sort of represents, for you, it represents this idea of wholeness. It represents the idea of you moving into a section of life that's going to enrich your overall life. You know, it's like someone who, they've been focused on career for a long time, and now they're sort of bringing in that idea of family. And it's just like, we need to explore those other avenues of life that will enrich our lives and give us that feeling of wholeness. It sort of rounds out our life, right? And I feel like that's kind of where you are. You're at a little bit of that crossroads, okay? Let's keep going here. A Four of Cups. We've got the Prince of Wands, a Knight of Wands, and the Emperor. So the Emperor energy, this kind of represents, I think, obviously a very different energy than the Hanged Man, right? The Emperor. This is a lot of Aries energy here. If I were you, I'd watch the Aries reading that we did. I kind of see, I see a theme here, and we're going to talk about that, but first, let's select our mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card, the random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And this is just going to go right here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card at any point during this program, put it in the comments down below. All right. Now, let's look around the room. Major, 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 major. 4 major arcana energies, so that's quite a bit. We've got fire and fire. Okay. Water and water. Got a little bit of air, a little bit of earth. Okay. I feel like you're deciding how next to grow your life. You're deciding what to branch into next. Okay. We have the Two of Cups, love, the lovers, and the Hanged Man, the idea of suffering and sacrifice in order to move ahead in perhaps this new direction. Again, it's the opposite sign. I feel like you're kind of moving in a direction that's opposite of what the rest of your life has been like. Okay? So first we'll start with the Hanged Man, and I think that the Two of Swords is sort of representing us trying to look at both angles of each of these cards, trying to look at the positive, negative of everything, in order to reach that transcendent lunar energy at the top, that intuition, and make a choice about, what to do now, where to take our lives, what direction to go forward. So the Hanged Man is this idea of sacrifice, of suffering. If we want to do anything in life, we have to realize that it's going to require an investment. It's going to require a sacrifice. It's going to require that we suffer for it. What are we willing to suffer for? Okay. The Hanged Man is always a voluntary card. It's kind of saying that I've put myself in this position because I know that it's worth it, because I believe in this thing so much that I'm willing to sacrifice other things in my life that don't mean as much, that aren't as important to me. So we're kind of looking at the Hanged Man and thinking, okay, well, if I want to move in this new direction, this unknown direction that may be very opposite what you've been doing, I have to ask myself if I'm willing to do what it takes, if I'm willing to sacrifice for this. Any kind of greatness, any kind of prominence, any kind of success is going to require that sacrifice. Okay. Now I know with the water cards, let's just address the water cards here, and the primarily these two, the Two of Cups and the Lovers. This could very much be talking about a romantic situation. It could be that you are falling in love with a person, with an idea. Doesn't have to be romance, okay? Put your pitchforks away. But it could very well be. And it's kind of hard not to look at that angle when we see both of these cards together, right? I feel like you're ready to sacrifice your life, really, for what you believe in. Not literally. You're ready to make sacrifices. You know what it's going to cost you. You know what it's going to entail for you to really be successful at something. And this could be the relationship, right? That if we feel strongly enough about this, then yes, we'd be willing to make sacrifices. Let's put the Hanged Man this way, flowing toward our chariot, right? We know that if this is going to grow, we're going to have to invest in it. We're going to have to make some concessions, some compromises. We're going to have to be willing to sacrifice other things. If this is a romantic thing, well, you're going to have to sacrifice some things, right? Maybe sacrifice a little bit of independence, sacrifice some of your time, sacrifice your interest in other people, perhaps, if this is a monogamous relationship. So the Hanged Man is really, with the Two of Swords, we're understanding what it's really going to cost. Okay, does not have to be romance. Okay, the Lover's card underneath is showing that we're contemplating, we're sort of feeling an urge to say yes to something. There's something on the table that we really want to say yes to. Right? I think you feel this inside, and this is that marriage. This is that this is that feeling inside of us that just says 1,000% heck yes. That it's a choice. It's the choice to commit to something. We are inspired to commit to something with our entire being. And so it's kind of a surrender with the Hanged Man, that we are really looking to surrender ourselves to this union. This could be a union with a person. This could be a union with a place, with an idea, with a path, with a hobby even. It could be, whatever, an interest, a vocation, a calling, a spiritual path even. but we're willing to dive into it, right? We're willing to sacrifice and surrender ourselves to this thing. And that's kind of the question we're asking. Do I have what it takes to do? Am I willing to sacrifice for myself for this? Am I willing to surrender to this? Can I do it? What is it going to cost? Like, we're asking all those intellectual questions. But you're somebody who I think is always you have been always very independent, right? Now, there's something going on with the heart, or something for you or someone in your family is having a heart issue. I'm not predicting anything. I'm not a doctor. But I feel like it's something that's already known. There's been a heart issue with someone, yeah. Anyway, you're somebody that typically works independently. Maybe you've been single for a long time. Maybe you have a job, but you just like to do your thing. You're not really into collaboration very much, I don't think. You do have a connection with storms. There's thunderstorms particularly. You're very fond of them, or there's some connection there with the thunderstorms for you. Okay. But you tend to work independently, and now there's this kind of this question now. It's like, well, I want to merge with this thing. I want this union. I want this partnership to take place. What is it really going to cost me? What am I really going to have to do? Like, what is it actually going to be like? Okay. And I think this is all coming from that Two of Cups in the background. Okay, which I feel like it really is this union of love. It's kind of like you've fallen in love with something, and now we're sort of contemplating taking the plunge, right? Diving in and really committing to it. Whether maybe this is a new job, maybe this is a new career path, maybe this is a new major in university, maybe this is a lover, and maybe this is now we're contemplating taking it to the next level, becoming exclusive, making it serious, right? Really making the commitment to something. So the Two of Cups can become, well, you've really fallen in love with snowboarding. But it's kind of like, yeah, I love it so much, but do I want to commit to it? Do I want to really marry myself to snowboarding now? Do I think, what is it really going to entail? What is it going to cost me? What am I going to have to sacrifice? Well, maybe skiing, right? Maybe some other hobbies, maybe tubing, right? You're going to have to cut out a few things in order to just do this exclusively. So just having a love, having an interest isn't really all there is, Something can just be, I can love it, I can want it, I can enjoy doing it or being with it or being around it or engaging with it, but I don't have to commit to it. That I don't have to take it so seriously that I have to cut out other things from my life in order to do this thing and this thing only. This, I think, if you really are looking at it, if you really want to get somewhere with it, it's a full-time, long-term job, right? This is something that's going to take a lot of time, effort, energy, and or money to really make it something good. Otherwise, we can love it, we can be in love with it, and we can do it whenever we have time to do it, but it's not going to take precedent over other things in our lives. But when we add on this commitment, now it's saying, I'm doing it full-time, every day, this is my thing now. And so we cut out all those other things, and now we're married to this, and now snowboarding, that's it. I'm buying all the gear, I'm taking the classes, I'm going to be on the mountain every day or whatever, and I've honestly never snowboarded. I don't know what it takes to be a snowboarder. I don't think that's literally what you're doing, but maybe, right? Maybe. It's kind of, it's something different than what you're used to. Okay, like I said, it's very different. It's almost like a 180 in life. And I think other people around you are going to be like, wow, you're doing what? They never would have thought you would pick that you would choose that you would devote your life to something like this. But here you are, considering it. Okay, maybe somebody has proposed to you and we're considering that. Maybe you really do love someone. You really are in love with someone, and you're contemplating taking it to the next level or making it official or making it serious. Maybe you're going to change your Facebook status or something. So we're asking, like, okay, what does that really mean? What is that really going to cost? What's it going to be like? We're trying to look at all the angles, and intellectually we're trying to make this decision. But we know that the decision has to come from that lunar energy, has to come from your intuition. Your soul will tell you if this is right for you. You have to intellectually know all the things it's going to cost you, all the sacrifices you'll have to make. Again, this is a full-time job, right? This is going to take a lot of your time, long-term, full-time. So you've got to be ready to make the appropriate concessions and sacrifices. If we're going to surrender ourselves to this, we got to be fully informed. We need to, we need the informed consent in order to say yes, because that's what this card's about. We're considering that big hell yes, right? Pardon my language. Towards something that we feel very much in love with. But it is going to cost a lot. Now, the Eight of Pentacles up at the top here, this is patience. This is prudence. This is saying don't jump into it so quickly. And it's very, very strongly reinforced even by the Knight of Wands in the position of the fear, worry, concern. Because this is impulsivity. This is a cardinal fire energy, Aries energy, jumping into something 1,000% right away, no hesitation. It's a little impulsive. It's a burst of fiery energy that may fizzle out soon. So that's kind of the other thing we're asking us. It's like, okay, let's be patient. Let's be slow. Let's take it slow. We don't have to commit right away. Let's not jump into something overnight. We're not eloping here. It's not a spur of the moment thing. I'm going to take my time and think about it. And also, we're asking ourselves, can I do this every single day for, theoretically, the rest of my life? Can I do this full-time, long-term? We're committing to this job, signing this contract, moving to this new place, getting with this new person and making it official. We have to ask ourselves, can I see myself doing this day in and day out? Am I okay with the routine of it? Right? Am I okay with, like we're going to agree to go work somewhere for a company, sign a work contract or whatever? Is that what I want to do for the rest of my life? Or we're thinking of our career. I used to think of becoming a chef, right? And I love it. And I have a Two of Cups relationship with cooking and food, as you probably know. I love it. I love to cook. I love being in the kitchen. I love figuring out recipes and techniques. And I love cooking and sauteing and flipping the vegetables in the pan like that. I love it so much. But when I think about what it would take, what it would actually be like working in a kitchen for, 8, 10, 12 hours a day, every single day, if I really wanted to get good at it and become a master, right? Aries, Emperor energy, really become a master at it and really be as successful as I know I could be, would I be okay with the routine, with doing it every day in that fashion in the kitchen and really putting in what it takes? Would I be comfortable with that? And I had to be real with myself and say, no, I don't think I could be on my feet for 12 hours a day in the kitchen every single day. There are other things that I want to do in life. And I don't think I could devote 100% of my time to becoming a master chef, right? Shout out to Gordon Ramsay. I don't think that I would really handle that day in, day out routine of it. So before I decided to go to culinary school, which I did not do, I had to really think about this. And I was on the phone with the admissions people. I was looking at the brochures, and I was thinking, I want to do it. I love cooking so much. I want to do it. And this was right after my transplant. I had a liver transplant. And at that time, I said, there's no way I could, I would finish school, and I imagine I would do well in school, but then getting the job, starting the work, doing it day in, day out, devoting my life to it, I don't think I could, right? So I had to be real with myself about that. And this is what you are also considering, whether this is a job, a career, a school course, because we're going to school in order to do something for a career afterwards, right? I mean, in theory. So you go to culinary school, yeah, that I could do, but then getting the job afterward, doing the thing afterwards, day in, day out for the rest of your life, working your way up to that level of mastery. Could I do that, right? And honestly, I didn't think I was creative enough. I look at these master chefs and on TV and in restaurants and in the magazines and stuff, and you see all these really, really creative chefs. And I just think, I'm technically good, but I don't think I have that creativity, But that's something else that we're asking. Are we inspired by this? Do we feel that we have what it takes to do it now? In your future position, you've got your your chariot card. I think this is something that is taking your life in a different direction. All right. I think the chariot card is you realizing how strong you need to be and how disciplined and how fortified you need to be. You need to surrender. You need to say yes. You need to say 1,000% heck yes. You need to understand all of the things involved. You got to love it, and you got to be okay with doing it every single day, full-time, long-term. You have to have a thick skin because you know it's going to be challenging. You have to be aware of what it's going to take, what it's going to require of you, what it's going to ask of you, and how difficult it will be. You've got to be able to withstand all of that, withstand the sacrifice, withstand the monotony, or the slow progress, even with that 8 of Pentacles. We've got to be ready. We've got to believe 1,000% that we're capable, that we have what it takes. You've got your chariot, it's all polished up. You got your sphinxes, you got your armor on, like you're ready to go. You got your frying pan or saute pan right there in the middle, see? You're ready to go. You have what it takes, and you're fully informed, and you're fully aware that it's going to be a slow and grueling process to get to the top here, but I feel like you're going to do it. But these are the questions that you're asking, okay? And now we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. And ultimately, I feel that this is perhaps the commitment to living with somebody, okay? For some of you, that's the offer, that's the dilemma, that's the choice on the table, is whether or not you should take this relationship to that living together level, okay? The chariot card very often represents our home life and the way our home is our sanctuary. So you'll be sacrificing a little piece of your sanctuary, right, by living with somebody else. Doesn't have to even be a lover or a partner. It could be a friend. It could be a family member. Sacrificing some of your solitude, right? Which I think, Capricorn, you very much like that solitude. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is free. The 4 of Cups is kind of like right now we're maybe playing it safe emotionally. That I'm comfortable where I am. I'm comfortable in my Capricorn energy doing what I do. But I love this thing so much. Like a 4 plus a 2, 6 of Cups, right? I mean, that's like, that could be that's perfection. So there's part of us that's trying to say, no, I'm comfortable where I am. Why mess with something that's working now? I like what I do. I like my solitude. I like the job I have, or I like the career I've chosen. I like the work I do. I like the person I'm with. I like that we live separately or whatever. Things are fine the way they are. But see, the 4 of Cups is a ship, a sailing vessel that's in the harbor. Safe harbor. Really nice harbor. It's got a nice berth, nice slip, right? But it's not doing what a sailboat's supposed to do. Out there sailing, right? Running into storms, going places, doing things, to the best of its ability, fulfilling its nature. The nature of a sailboat is not to sit in the harbor looking pretty, right? But to go out and get wet and get dirty and, get tossed around by the waves a little bit, because that's what it does. So I think that you're realizing that there's more to this than just what I'm in love with this thing. Yeah, but why, right? Because I think there's kind of an underlying dissatisfaction with the way life is going. Now, yeah, it's comfortable, it's familiar. I don't want to mess with a good thing, but I'm meant to sail. I'm meant to do something more. Like this feels like it's a purpose for you, And whether this is a romance or whether it's a career, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're recognizing that the 4 needs to change. Anytime we see a 4, we start looking for the 5, right? And I think by doing this activity, you're bringing the 5 and the 6, because it feels like it's a purpose. It feels like this is not just something that you like, or that you love, or that you're in love with, or maybe that you're infatuated with. This is like a purpose. This is meant to be. This is a soulmate thing, right? This is your destiny. And I think we're realizing that, I want to fulfill my nature. I need to go forward with this. And I'm fully informed about what the risks and what the sacrifices are going to be like, but I need to do it. Okay? And because, again, there's that other side of us that's kind of saying, no, I'm fine where I am, you know. And so that's kind of our two, right? We're looking at things in both directions, different angles. The Prince of Wands is in your environment. This is your relationship with the environment. I think you've been doing the same thing for a long time so far. You're already pretty established in life in some way, whether this is school or career or the relationship or your living situation. You're pretty settled in. You know, you've made it home already, the way your life is. So now to consider doing something different or changing is a little bit of a difficult decision, right? We got to look at it both ways, and kind of like the Prince of Wands is a very consistent energy. It's your ability to commit. It's your ability to choose something that you love and stick with it long term. Okay, this is a very fixed fire energy. It's a Leo energy, and we have the cardinal fire, right? But this is fixed fire. This is kind of saying, I'm already established. You know what? I've already got a career. I've already got this relationship has been working fine the way it has been going. I think you've been doing the same thing for a long time. And maybe this thing is more solo, more independent, there's more solitude, or whatever it is. And so now there's this kind of the realization that I'm not so happy the way things have been going. Maybe it's been working for a long time, but it hasn't been as fulfilling as maybe it used to be, or as this new path may be promising to be. Okay. So you have the ability to commit, and you have the ability to stick with something long term. You've got staying power, right? You have the ability to sustain interest over time. But it may even be that your current situation has become just more routine and not as fulfilling. You don't mind the routine. Routine is going to be part of everything, right? Doing something consistently, day in and day out, is what's going to grow the thing, right, into this beautiful tree. So you're not opposed to routine, but when that routine has stopped being as rewarding as it once was, it's kind of saying, well, the four of cups, you know, yeah, that's how I feel. Things have just kind of stagnated. Things aren't as good as they can be, as fulfilling as they can be. I don't feel like I'm really fulfilling my nature anymore. Maybe you did up to a point, but now we're ready to go to the next level. And the Knight of Wands becomes kind of a double-edged sword in a way, because it is that impulsivity. It is that cardinal fire. The cardinal energies are a burst of energy and enthusiasm and creative will, and we're sort of we're hitting the ground running, right? It's a sprint right at the beginning, and then does it fizzle out? Do we get into it and we say, oh, wait a minute, gosh, I don't like this really anymore, right? This is a flash in the pan. It's very strong, very intense. It is amazing. It's almost overwhelmingly powerful at the beginning. Is it going to fizzle? Or do you have that staying power, right? So that's why you're trying to be prudent. You're trying to really take that Eight of Pentacles and say, I'm going to go slow. I'm not going to rush into anything. I'm going to take it easy and take it slow and be smart. Look at all the angles before I make my commitment. Okay. And then really, I think once you overcome, because this is that impulsive energy. We feel in love with something and right, we just jump in. We jump in without considering all of these other factors. Okay? But you're considering all those factors, and then when the time is right and when you deem it appropriate, you're going to jump in full force, 1,000%, with the cardinal. So we need this energy, but we've got to be in control of it. We're going to say when to go, or spirit or the intuition, right, is going to tell us when to go. We're going to get that green light. Okay? And then really, this Emperor energy, this is like a huge win waiting for you. Because I feel like whatever this path is, you can really become good at it. If this is culinary school, right? You can go on to be a master chef. If this is becoming a electrical apprentice, you can be a master electrician down the road, right? If this is the relationship, right? You can be very, very fulfilled and very solid and very long-term successful in this partnership. You're moving in with somebody, right? It's not going to diminish your power or take away from your autonomy, but it's going to add to you. It's a relationship that is going to lift you up, right? It's a reciprocating thing. The more you put into it, the more it's going to put into you. Okay, if this is a relationship with somebody, then you lift each other up. You empower each other. You're making each other become better than what they were outside of the relationship, without the relationship. Okay. Well, let's look at the mystery card. Maybe that'll reveal a little something. Is it going to be the Empress, to go with our Emperor? Is it going to be the Capricorn Devil card? Is it going to be another 2 of Cups, another Lovers, or perhaps a 6 of Cups? I think I would really like to see a 6 of Cups, but it might be the Ace. The Ace of anything, really, but it might be an Ace. If you have a prediction, Capricorn, put it in the comments. Let's see. 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Well, I said anytime we get a 4, we start looking for the 5. And here's that 5. So to me, this says you are fully informed of the difficulties out here. You're fully informed that, it's warm and cozy inside. Outside, you're limping, it's snowing, right? You're dressed in rags, and, you realize the challenges that are out here. But you're out here walking anyway. You could easily have just stayed inside this warm room, maybe a church. What could it be, But you've chosen to go outside and walk. It's nighttime, it's cold, you're injured. So I feel like you're fully informed and you're realizing that this is worth it, right? So here you are causing change, making a move. The 5 is always a card of change. The 4 is a card that says, where's the change? Things are standing still. Life doesn't stand still. So you kind of feel emotionally that things have reached a standstill. I'm not progressing anymore. This relationship is sort of stagnating. I'm not fulfilling my nature like I should be. Like, it feels like things have just kind of gotten frozen, right? And now you are making moves. So I feel like this is a big yes for you. Okay? And I feel like you understand that it's going to be a climb. It's not an elevator ride to the top. It's not an elevator ride to mastery. You got to work your way there. But this is you committing to something and working your way to that level of mastery, of success, of whatever that is for you. Okay? Absolutely amazing. We're going to do an extended reading. We'll do some oracle cards. We'll do an Jing reading too. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn, Thursday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.